Boom, we are live for a brand new training. Today we're talking about how you can make 10K per month, how to build a social media marketing agency up to 10K per month with one single client. I'm going to be sharing with you the exact pricing protocol to follow, the reason why we can do that, right? How to position yourself in the right vehicle to attract these 10K plus per month clients and to have incomes from one single client that go up all the way to 10K per month. This is a complete new way of scaling an agency. Oftentimes, when we think about a 10K per month business, I'm talking profit here, a 10K per month business, right? For example, an e-commerce business, you have to get up to 30, 40K per month in revenue, right? That means having hundreds, if not thousands of customers, right? If we think about a traditional local business agency, right, at 10K per month profit, that typically means maybe 15, 20K per month revenue with maybe tens of clients. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can actually have 10K plus per month income from one single client and how we could do that, structuring things in the right way and positioning ourselves up for success. So I'm very, very excited for this. My promise to you is you're going to be able to walk away from this training with tangible expertise, tangible strategies that you can implement right away into your agency. No fluff, no wasting time. I've gone ahead and created a document for you, all right, that I'm going to be sharing with you in just a second, so you take away as much value as possible. And I'm going to be doing that I've read this view. Okay. So I'm going to be doing that. And if you stay till the end of this training, not only are you going to be able to ask questions, but you're also going to be able to get your hands on this specific thing. All right. So I'm going to be sending you this document just over to you for free. But you're going to stay till the end of the training, not for my, not for my my own benefit, which I do obviously benefit. The algorithm likes it, but mainly for yours, so you can really get your hands on that. So without further ado, let's get right into it, because we've got a lot of juicy stuff to cover. All right. How to make 10K per month with only one SMMA client, a complete different way of doing things. And, I can guarantee you that a lot of the stuff that you're going to learn in this video, you haven't heard anyone talk about. Okay. Is this live? Yes. Very important to keep in mind. Okay. This is live. I am going off script. I do have a little document for you guys, so we can follow a clear roadmap. But yes, we are live. If you're seeing this on the replay, I may leave it for a few hours on the replay. If you're seeing this on the replay, great. You can still engage with it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. One of the great things about the e-com agency model is that you don't need tens, hundreds, nor thousands of customers, clients to get to 10K per month profit, like is the case with a lot of e-com businesses, right? We talked about how to have a 10K plus per month profit business in e-commerce, you typically need to get up to 30, 40K per month in revenue, right? And that typically involves having hundreds, if not thousands of customers, getting hundreds, if not thousands of people, convincing them of buying your product, right? Getting them into your ecosystem, getting them to take out their card and pay for something, right? And in our case, right, especially in the e-com agency route, which essentially, for those of you who don't know, if you're watching this, you might, but if you're completely new to my channel, the e-com agency model is where we're servicing e-com businesses, right? So we're helping them with their marketing. We're doing the paid ads for them. Essentially, we're just doing one single service, right? We're focusing on this one single aspect of their business, and we're getting paid good money for it. Okay. But I digress. With an e-com business, typically you need to get up to 30, 40K per month in revenue, right? Which means having hundreds of customers, complexity, overheads, communication, overhead, a bunch of different things, right? Team members. We don't like that. We don't like it, okay? Or even traditional local business agencies where, the way you grow with a local business agency is volume, right? And so maybe you're doing Facebook ads for dental clinics, right? The way you're going to grow that is through volume, because you don't have a percentage of the profit that you make them, because you cannot tell them exactly, hey, I spent this much for you and I made you this much, because you're getting them leads, right? And they're responsible for converting those leads. You're not, all right? We're going to be talking all about this. If this sounds a little bit like gibberish to you, then you definitely need to stick around till the end, because we're going to really be diving deep into a lot of these topics, okay? So instead, we have the ability to make that amount from one single client. I'm going to be showing you how to do that, okay? I've got clients that pay me 10K plus per month every single month. And that's how I've been able to scale my agency past 200K per month, because it's quite simple. I hate the word easy, but it's quite simple to scale an agency when you have those sort of incomes from one single client, right? Same thing for a lot of the students that are in my mentorship that have been able to scale from 0 to 100K per month, 6 figures per month, right? A lot of the clients that they have are high value clients. I'll show you how we structure those deals. It's not just fixed retainers, okay? So I'm going to be sharing all that in just a second. All right. With this video, however, I'm not saying your first client will alone take you to 10K per month. Okay, that is very important. I will emphasize this. I'm not saying with this video your first client is going to take you to 10K per month. Over time, it may. All right, but I'm going to be showing you most importantly. Okay, quite frankly, because I say that because that mindset could actually harm you, since you want a consistent pipeline of high quality clients you can tap into, right? And so I'm not going to say, look, you're going to sign one client and your first client is already going to be that 10K per month client, right? I'm not going to say that, because I would much rather you have the abundance, because I know a lot of you have that 10K per month goal. Okay. However, I would much rather you have the abundance and just a consistent pipeline of quality meetings and quality prospects and clients for your agency than just hope for that 10K per month client. What I am saying is that these clients you do sign can become clients that alone bring in more than 10K per month in profit, which makes the process of scaling your agency much, much easier. Okay. So is everyone ready? Give me a 1 in the chat if you're ready for me to get right into it. But why, for the following reasons, how do we do that, right? How can we make sure that we have those clients that bring in 10K per month in profit every single month? And why is this important? Because it makes it much easier to scale. Okay. You don't have to have a lot of clients to do so, right? So it's less complexity, less headache, which we all want. We don't just want financial freedom, but time, location freedom. If you've only got 3-5 clients to take care of, okay, and those clients are paying you big bucks, right? Then even better, right? That for me is a sign of more success than the person that has a billion different clients, but the profit margins are razor thin. Okay, so let's get right into the first point, because we've got no time to waste, and I do want to be respectful of your time, knowing that time is our most valuable commodity here, our most precious asset, better than commodity asset. So the first thing is the ad profit deals, the concept of ad profit deals, right? So contrary to most agencies' pricing model, ad profit share never eats into the client's bottom line and allows your agency to grow with your clients. So what is the ad profit deal? This is a specific concept that I've talked about myself. The ad profit. What is the ad profit, right? So the ad profit, very simply put, is the exact profit that we put into our client's pocket from our own activities as media buyers, right? As growth hackers, as digital marketers, right? It is the exact pure profit that we put into their pockets. Without us, they wouldn't be having that profit, right? So we're tapping purely into profit. A lot of people do ROAS deals. They take a percentage of the revenue. But the problem is there's a bunch of ambiguity there, because we're not considering the cost of goods sold, all right? We're not considering the service fee of our agency, our service fee, right? And oftentimes we're not even considering, things like the profit margin, et cetera, right? And so the ad profit deal is purely how much money we've made them with the ads minus our service fee. So we subtract what we're charging them minus our cost of goods sold, which is essentially how much we've made them, times their cost margin. Cost margin is very simply put 1 minus profit margin. So if you have, let's just say 50% profit margin, your cost margin is 50%, right? 50% is profit, 50% is cost, right? So the cost of goods sold, right? The cost of creating these products that you're selling, right? If you sell an extra 1,000 units for a client, they have to make that, they've had to make those 1,000 units, right? And so there's a cost of goods sold there. Minus the ad spend, minus how much we're spending on the ads, right? And so you subtract how much we're charging them as a fixed fee, as our service fixed fee, how much the cost of goods sold are, which are the cost of us essentially, selling these products for them, minus how much we're spending on these ads, and we get ad profit, right? Ad profit is that very sweet number where we can tap into. Okay, we can take a 20%, we can take a 25%. I've got students taking 30, 40% of ad profit. Okay, usually it's around 20, 25%. That's typically what we see. But these are high numbers, right? And so that's the first concept that I want you to understand, the ad profit deal, right? So in our pricing, there's always ad profit deals, okay? The great thing about this number is that it grows month to month as you increase the ad spend without much added complexity. Okay. So let's just say that we onboard a client and they're making 100K per month. Okay. And they're spending 20K per month on ads. So as we start making the money and as we start having success, we're obviously going to increase the ad spend. Okay. Increasing the ad spend by another 10K every single month, which is definitely not a rare sight. Okay. Would mean that we make them more, right? So we're going to have more ad revenue, right? To subtract from. Thus, the ad profit, the pure number of ad profit is going to be higher. Thus, we're taking a larger chunk every single month. Sure, we're still taking 20% of ad profit, right? But that becomes a larger chunk every single month. And what I've found is that just because we increase the ad spend doesn't mean that the service gets any harder. Doesn't mean that you have to, sign on more media buyers and more team members to your team. No, complexity is the same. Your costs as an agency still the same, right? Same person running the same ad account. Okay. And that number grows month to month, right? That is why we've had clients that we've started with where maybe we didn't have any, we had the ad profit deal and we had the fix, right? So maybe the fix was 4K. We had the ad profit deal. Maybe the first month it was 4,500, right? That we took from them. But that month grew to 10K because the fix stayed the same. But as we continuously increased the ad spend, right, we continuously made more ad profit on our end. Okay. That's great because there's absolutely no other. I hate the concept of passive income, but this truly does feel the closest thing to passive income that there is in the online business world. Show me something that grows month to month, right? Show me something that grows month to month without you having to increase much complexity, right? And without us having to do the service ourselves because we've got our team member delivering that. Sure, we're still the head honcho, right? We're still the agency owner. We're still the business owner. We're purely responsible for everything, right? But show me anything else in the world. I mean, I'm sure you guys can come up with something, right? But show me anything else in the world that is as sustainable, as predictable, and as legitimate as an agency model where you can make this sort of passive income every single month, right? That increases passively every single month. I'll wait. I'm sure there's something, but I'm just playing. But it does truly feel. I really do hate the concept of passive income, but it truly does feel the closest thing to passive income. Okay. And the final thing I'll say on this topic is can only be done in a business model like the e-com agency where the returns are clear cut. The reason why we're able to do this is because we're in the e-com agency model, right? Why is that? Because we can clearly see how much we've spent and how much we've made. In no other agency model, right? Local business, you cannot do that because you're optimizing for leads, right? And so you're bringing leads in, but the client has to close those leads. If they don't close the leads, you're done, right? It doesn't matter how good your leads are. It doesn't matter how many leads you brought them. If they cannot close the leads, they don't need you, right? They could blame it on you, or they could say that you're the greatest lead generator in the world. If they cannot close the leads, bye-bye, sayonara, right? Can you do this for a lead generation agency? No, right? Precisely because of what I just mentioned, right? There is no clear return on investment. Okay. You cannot clearly say, hey, I made you this much, and I made and we spend this much for you. Thus, this is our percentage of ad profit, right? Every single month. So that's the first thing, right? The fact that we have this ad profit deals growing month to month, giving us that, just kind of increasing, I hate the word passively, but just kind of increasing passively, right? The second thing I want to talk about is the 360 approach. Okay. So this is how are we able to make them much more money than most agencies to the point where it can result in 10K per month income from one client, right? So you may be asking yourself, okay, Jaime, it sounds great. Like, how are, like, it sounds great. Every single month you're increasing the ad spend, you're making them more money. Okay, but how? Like, that's not super easy. If any of you have had a client, that, getting results for clients, it's by far the most important thing, right? So in 2022, if you're not getting results for your clients, you're done, right? It's as simple as that. But it is not the easiest thing, right? And so how do you do this? Well, the simple answer is with our 360 approach, right? So the 360 approach, what is that? Okay. When it comes to lead generation, when it comes to e-com growth, right? Most people look at e-com growth from the lens of the service they're offering, meaning they think that their offer is their service. That's the first thing, right? Meaning they think that just because they're offering Facebook ads means that their offer is Facebook ads. That's completely wrong, right? Your offer is e-com growth for specific clients within a specific sub niche. Let's just say your sub niche is apparel and fashion. Boom, e-com growth for apparel and fashion through your apparel and fashion growth formula, right? Based on what the top, apparel and fashion brands are doing in the space, right? That's the first thing, understanding that. So, the reason why I say this is because you cannot look at e-com growth from just a paid ads lens. For example, you cannot look at e-com growth from a Facebook ads lens. And the simple reason why that is because you could focus all you want on Facebook ads, on media buying, optimizing your audiences, optimizing your campaigns, optimizing every single little bit and piece of the ad. But if you're driving all that traffic to a shitty landing page that doesn't convert, that doesn't have a great offer on that landing page, it's not going to convert, right? And so what I mean by the 360 approach is this new breed of digital marketers, this new breed of e-com growth hackers, right? That, we are essentially having a 360 approach. We focus on a flagship service. Sure, we focus on maybe Facebook ads, right? But we don't just look at e-com growth from a Facebook ad lens, right? We understand that it's all, all these parts work in unison to create the outcome that we want, which is more growth, more money for our e-com store, right? So we drive all this traffic that we're generating through Facebook ads at a really good cost. We drive it to a high converting landing page that converts it converts high, right? Or higher than it used to, right? Because it has a great offer, because maybe you've put together a little quiz funnel, because maybe you've put together a little VSL, right? Because maybe you've put together a little email opt-in, right, of some sort, because maybe you have a free plus shipping offer, right? Maybe you put together a little free plus shipping funnel, right? So whatever you've done, right, you have that in place, right? You don't just look at e-com growth from a Facebook ads lens. And not only that, but maybe you look at their email marketing. Do they have any back end of emails? Do they have any welcome flow? Do they have any sort of post-purchase flow, right, that increases the lifetime value? Do they have any cross-sells and upsells across the website journey, right? All this stuff really, really matters. And so the 360 approach I use to describe the type of agencies that have that focus on all the parts of the e-com funnel, right? They have a monastic obsession and focus over their flagship service, but they have an awareness of all these different things. That, we don't create the landing page ourselves, right? We may outsource it to another agency and get a little cut from that. We may use the internal people that the e-com founder already has, all right? But we have a genuine, really good understanding of that, right? And so that allows us to make our clients more money, which allows us to have more ad profit. Got it? Okay, cool. I'm going to pause a little bit there while I drink a little bit of water for my big jar. So that is the 360 approach, right? Which is a really great leeway for cross-sells and upsells, right? This is something that most agencies completely neglect, all right? I am doing this live with not my best health. I am a little bit sick. So hopefully you guys appreciate it even a little bit more, but powering through it. So 360 approach is a great way to cross-sells and upsells, right? All because of our, this is only possible because of our 360 approach. A lot of agencies leave a lot of money on the table and the possibility of having this 10K per month income from one single client because they don't have cross-sells or upsells in place, right? So not only are we making a lot of money with the ad profit deals, right? Not only are we making a lot of money from the ad profit deals because we have the 360 approach, but the 360 approach allows us to then cross-sell our clients onto different services, right? So I want you to imagine this. You sign a client for Facebook ads, for e-com growth for a specific sub-niche. So for example, supplements, right? And you're doing that through mainly Facebook ads, right? But you have this 360 approach. So you're giving them a lot of tips on maybe just some very simple Klaviyo email marketing flows, right? They have to have in place a welcome flow, a post-purchase flow, an abandoned cart flow, a browser abandonment flow, a replenishment flow. The list goes on and on, right? These are some of the most simple flows out there in, that you can create. And there's a lot of information out there on how to create these flows. So, having said this, okay, you can go ahead and this is really how I take a client that is worth 2 to 5K per month and turn them into a 7 to 12K per month client using really just the retainer portion almost, okay? So a lot of the times, you have your flagship service and you can cross-sell them a few months down the line. So going back to my example, right? You've been doing the Facebook ads, but you've been using the 360 approach. So you've given them a bunch of tips and free value on a bunch of different components of the sales funnel, of the e-com ecosystem, right? And so if you've been giving them free tips and maybe you've been even building out these very simple flows that are very simple to build out on maybe Klaviyo, right, for free, right? Because because that also means that you made more money with your ads, right? So they made more money, you made more money, everyone is happy, right? And so you've been doing this, but then it comes to a point where you go, okay, cool. Look, you guys have seen the results of this. You guys have seen that we can crush it here as well. I do think this is a kind of like a weak link, and I think if we were to do this on top of already our flagship service, Facebook ads for you, okay, if we were to do email marketing for you, all right, we'd absolutely just take it to a complete different level, right? It's going to be 3K per month, and we're going to take 15% of the profit here as well. Sounds good? Cool. Because I've already seen the returns and the value of those services. Okay. And there's going to be no better person there's going to be no person that they trust more than you, because cross-selling, once they're in your ecosystem as a client, is literally the easiest sell you will ever find. All right. I have examples on my YouTube of me cross-selling my clients to these services. And literally it's as simple as jumping on a call with them and saying, hey, you guys have seen what we've been doing. You guys have seen the free tips and the free value that we've been giving to you for the past few months on email marketing, right? You guys have seen us crush it with your paid ads. You guys have seen the value of having a 360 approach. I think we should really take it to a whole new level now, right? So I think we could absolutely crush it if we were to focus a little bit more ourselves on your email marketing as well, okay? And have just a really good, just full funnel approach, right? Clients actually love this, because what I found is clients really don't like having a bunch of agencies do a bunch of different things. They would much rather have just one agency take over the whole thing. And as an agency, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because I've worked with a bunch of agencies. Maybe we'll be doing the paid ads, and they'll be doing like the content and then the email marketing and whatever, right? And there's always just this constant like communication overhead, right? Of them needing to understand the type of campaigns that we're doing, maybe like a one-off campaign. They need to understand it so that we can do also the campaign via emails, right? But it's not very smooth, right? And so they would much rather have one agency just take care of the whole marketing thing. And that's what we're going to do, right? It doesn't add much more complexity to the whole thing. And so we're going to come in, make them more money, right? We're going to come in, make them more money. Someone who's already made the money and someone who's already proven themselves in that service for free, right? And so you can understand how easy it is to cross-sell them to these services. And it really is an irresistible offer, because you've already been adding value on that specific new offer for a while. They've seen the type of returns that they can get with, for example, email marketing. If you've been doing paid ads, you've already proven yourself with the current offer. And to that, I would add the fact that they love to just have one person take care of the full thing. All right. So that is the third point. Cross-sells, upsells, massively important. They can add a whole new dimension to your business. And look, even if it's, they are against the idea of adding a new flat fee to that service, even if you just take percentage of profit from email marketing, you're still going to do really well, because you're already driving traffic to them. You're already getting those sales. Even if you just put some, like if they've never done email marketing, if you just put some simple campaigns in place, you can make them a really, a killing, right? And so you just take a good chunk of that profit because you deserve it, right? It's a really, really easy way to scale. And it's something that a lot of people are not talking about it. And this live training is all about doing more with less, right? How can we make more with less clients, right? That is where we're heading. We're heading towards less is more, really. Less is more, right? We're heading towards a world where, we all love just low complexity, right? This is not a type of business model that should add a lot of complexity to your life. This is a type of business model that is just super highly profitable, just fun. You can drive, you can really do it from anywhere in the world, and it's just fun. It's just fun. So that is the third point. I will drink a little bit of water before I get into the fourth point. If you are enjoying this, leave a 1 in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment #replay. So without further ado, let's get right into fat retainers. All right. So on top, if this ad profit deals weren't enough, and keep in mind that most of my students and myself, when you're scaling, right, and when you've had these clients for a few months, you're making most of the money with the ad profit deals, right? However, having said that, all right, we can also charge. It's not that we're lacking on the retainer front, because we can also charge higher retainers than most agencies out there. All right, a local business agency, and again there are exceptions to this, but A local business agency is limited because when it comes to e-com businesses, right, they have higher profit margins, which means they can reinvest into their business much more aggressively, right? When you look at most local businesses, even if they see, like, even if they're making 100K per month, right, they're not really taking home much profit. Like, there's a ton of cost attached to running a local business, right? And so investing into paid ads, knowing that their growth is also capped by literally their ceiling, right? Like, they cannot scale. They don't have limited scale, right? Like, if you they may only have like 20 slots, right, or 20 leads that they can take a day, right? Like, you cannot scale that to 100 leads a day. Like, they would have to have another facility. Makes sense? And so, investing into their growth through lead generation is not front of mind. It's not top of mind. And so they can, e-com businesses can reinvest more because they have higher profit margins, right? Which means they have more cash flow available to them. But not only that, it's also, for an e-com business, it's not a commodity or an opportunity. It's literally the lifeblood of their business, right? Digital marketing is literally the lifeblood of their business. And it's not a choice that they get to make, right? It's either like they do this or they typically won't have success, right? I'm not saying organic marketing is not a good, is dead. Where there's been brands that have crushed it on TikTok, billion-dollar valuations just, out of TikTok. But that is the minority. It's like, it's funny, right? Because people, we have this bias as a human being, right? That I think, we like to focus on the minorities, right? Oh, this person did this, right? So, I'd be able to do that. Well, this person is 1 in a million, right? And so with most e-com brands, they have to be able to pay for a customer, right? Until you are able to pay for a customer, you don't have a business, right? You should know exactly how much you can invest and how much you can spend on acquiring a customer. And if you don't really have a business, right? And so understanding that for e-com businesses, it is not it'd be fun to have more leads. It is, if we don't have leads, we're going out of business type of thing, right? Or we're just not gonna, fulfill our potential with this brand. And most e-com founders, they know this, and because a lot of you may be thinking, well, why did they start an e-com business? If you speak to most e-com founders, they're super passionate about their product, super passionate about their business, about their mission. Honestly, some of the most passionate people I've met. They have an incredible team. They just haven't really given much thought to the marketing side of things, right? Or they just don't really know much about digital marketing in general, right? There are obviously exceptions, right? And there are obviously e-com brands that will hire you more as an opportunity or as an improvement offer. But most brands is literally like, I have to do this. I have to get the paid ads thing sorted, whether it's TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, Google Ads, whatever it is, right? It's the lifeblood of their business. Whereas with local businesses, like, you got street traffic, you've got referrals, you've got a bunch of different ways of generating traffic. That is, paid ads is not like a top of mind type of thing. It's not like it's not a necessity, all right? And so the reason why we're able to charge high retainers is because for them, this is like one of the, if not the highest priority expense, right? And investment into their own growth, all right? And thus, they're going to be much more willing to spend the big bucks. Not because, we're not looking to like make as much as possible. It's simply because the value is going to be there, right? And they see the value of it, right? And thus, it is much easier to convey that value to them. And the final thing I'll say, which I've talked about for a while now, is the monopoly agency concept, right? And so, what is a monopoly agency? If you guys have been watching my channel, the OGs will know. But essentially, a monopoly agency is one that does not compete on price. It does not, do the exact same thing that most agencies are doing, which is essentially Facebook ads agency for e-com brands or Facebook ads agency for this or that, right? They are a monopoly agency because they've, laser focused on a specific sub niche within e-com, right? They have a specific process to results, and they have a specific offer that is irresistible for that sub niche, right? And I talked about this on my past live training, so you can check that out after this one. But my point here is, when you're a monopoly agency, you're not price competitive, all right? So agencies that are not monopoly agencies, which is a concept that I've I wouldn't say invented, but I've been talking about for a while now. Agencies that are not, monopoly agencies are perfectly competitive. And what perfectly competitive means, one of the things is that you are price competitive, meaning prospects, right, that you are reaching out to, they know how much people are charging in the industry. And so the only thing that you can compete on is price. And you never want to compete on price. However, if you're the only agency for apparel fashion brands that have a specific growth formula for that specific brand, right? You're not competing on price because you're literally the only solution for them right there and then. All right. And so you can charge those premium prices. All right. Which is a much more blissful way of building a business. Okay. So to recap, how can we get to a point where we can make from one single SMMA client 10K per month? Right? I'm not saying, your first client is going to be that 10K per month client. I'm saying you can grow these clients to be 10K per month, because this is all about doing more with less, right? Having less clients, but make a lot more, right? The easiest way to scale to 50K per month, 100K per month, right? With an agency, with an e-com agency, which is very, very doable. You've seen it here, right? Is by having these elements that I've spoken about, right? And you don't have to do it with many clients. You could do it with 5, 6, 7 clients, okay? With most agencies, 50K per month, 100K per month would mean having 30, 50 clients, right? So how do we do this? Number one, ad profit deals, taking a chunk of their ad profit every single month, grows month to month, pretty much passively, okay? 2, the 360 approach, which allows us to make them more money, allows us to get them even better results, an ad profit deal. Very important to keep in mind. Never just be an ad profit deal. They should always pay attention, right? People need to be invested. Right, so never just do a percentage. There should always be a fixed. Okay, but even those fixed can be higher than with most agency models. With that being said, all right, there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind. If you're on the Facebook community, okay, if you're on the Facebook community, comment. By the way, if you guys are watching YouTube, I've got an incredible community where we're doing exclusive lives. Sometimes I do also go live on YouTube parallelly on parallel, but most of the trainings we just keep them in the private Facebook community, because I'm very proud of what we're building. It's completely free. So there's going to be, for the YouTube people, there's going to be a link down below to apply for that community. We're keeping it, we're making sure that we go through all these applications, so there's going to be a bunch of questions there. But so that's the YouTube people. For the Facebook people, okay, you can go ahead and comment me down below this live training, okay? And I'll personally DM you my best tips regarding this, okay? And agency growth in 2022. That is a little something that I'm doing. And the other thing that I'm doing is, if you want, okay, a copy of this, if you want a copy of what we've spoken about, and for me to personally message you this copy, okay, the only thing you got to do is just go ahead and tag me on IG. That is my IG. I'll just put it on the chat. Tag me on IG. All right. And then I will go ahead and I'll personally DM you the copy of this, right? So just take the only thing you got to do is just take a picture of this. Yes, it's a little growth hack, but why not? Let's make this fun. Take a picture of this. Go ahead and tag me on IG, and I'll go ahead and personally send you a copy of this worksheet, okay? Along with maybe a little private message from me with a few more tips. So yeah, that is that. With that being said, so I've mentioned for the YouTube people, if you want to be part of the Facebook community and get a lot more of these lives that I'm not posting anywhere else, there's going to be a link in the description, okay? For the Facebook people, if you comment me down below on this live, I will go ahead and personally DM you my best tips when it comes to agency growth, stuff like this. And the final thing is, if you want a copy of the really cool document that we've covered today, all you got to do is just go ahead, take a picture of this, tag me on IG, and I'll go ahead and personally DM it to you. All right. So we've got a few more minutes. What I'm going to go ahead and do is maybe I'll go ahead and take a few more questions. Ready for some gold, Christopher? Hopefully you enjoyed. David, good to see you, my man. Good to see you here. Yasin, what's up, brother? Amazing content, brother. Thank you. All right, let's see if I can find the question. Is this in the US or where are you based? I'm based out in Madrid, but this applies for anywhere in the world. So I'm based out in Spain. How do you track all the ad profit deals? It's pretty simple. At the end of the month, to my students in my mentorship, I give them a calculator, right? And every single month we just send it over to the client for approval. They put the final stamp of approval and we charge them that. I already talked about this, but no. It's hard to start with zero money. No, actually, it's not. An agency, one of the great things is you only really have to invest into yourself, into coaching or whatever, and then the other stuff is, yeah, it's not very expensive. In fact, not at all. Should I let my media buyer hop on the call with me and the client, or should I shouldn't let him join? Depends on the call. If it's a sales call, no need. If it's a client call, typically yes, I would say. Is it possible to work your 8-hour daily job and do it? Yes, I started my agency when I was doing civil engineering degree, and I also had a little part-time thing, and I still got it done. So 2 to 3 hours a day is really all you need if you have the right systems and you're not just banging out hundreds of cold messages and cold calls and cold emails for 6 to 8 hours a day, like most people. Are you live? Yes, this is live. You've been so helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up, because I am seeing questions on like what is the best way to get clients, et cetera, and I do want to keep the live to like this specific topic. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that is it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, drop a massive thumbs up, whether you're on YouTube or on the Facebook community, and we'll speak very, very soon. Bye bye, everybody. Take care.